So, UFC 239 looked like it was going to be a decent card, and well, it really did deliver. The two title fights were both interesting for different reasons, but the one that stole the show was the one I was looking forward to most, Masvidal versus Ben Askren. And I'll usually start these videos with the main event, but I think we have to start with that one. Masvidal sprinting across the cage like he did to Till, but instead of a kick to the balls like he did to Till, he kneed Ben Askren right in the head. Ben Askren clearly was looking to counter that bull rush with a takedown. He must have thought it was going to be some punches or kicks, but nope, and a perfectly timed, perfectly placed knee right on the temple of Askren, and a 10-year-long, 20-fight unbeaten career is ended in 5 seconds by Masvidal. I mean, really, he was knocked out after 1.5, 2 seconds, as Joe Rogan said, but the referee officially stopped the fight 5 seconds in. That's got to be one of the greatest knockouts of all time. And after all the trash talk, after all the build-up, it had the most amazing conclusion. I mean, I would have liked to see it go a little bit longer, but just unbelievable. One of the most shocking moments I've ever seen in the octagon. And Masvidal is becoming one of my absolute favourite fighters now. I'm sure he'll be a fan favourite even more than he was after that. I mean, he's delivered 2 stunning knockouts in 2 fights. And although he doesn't purposefully trash talk to build up fights, just the way he talks, and you know, with the giving Leon Edwards the 3-piece and the soda, and when Joe Rogan says, why did you go for a flying knee? And Masvidal just said, 'cause he's a bum. I mean, he's hilarious. I love that guy. I mean, the punches after the knockout were a tad unnecessary, but you could tell that he really didn't like Askren, and I thought there would be respect afterwards. Even in the post-fight interview, he didn't want to talk about Askren. It was not to build up the fight. He genuinely did not like the guy. So, does Masvidal get the title shot over Colby Covington now? It's hard to say. I think if Covington beats Lawler, he probably should still get the title shot. But if Lawler beats Colby, I think you have to give it to Masvidal. Either way, Usman's got a lot of great contenders coming up, and I'd really like to see him active and defending, because welterweight is an amazing division right now. Welterweight and lightweight are both absolutely amazing. But you've got to wonder, where does Ben Askren go from here? Because he came out of retirement to come to the UFC and he wanted to prove that he was the best welterweight in the world. Is that now kind of over, and is his mission halted, and is his star power gone a bit now he's not undefeated and he retires again? Or does he just think this is a blip on the road to the title, and he comes back and gets some more fights and tries to get back to the title? It's hard to know. So very interesting to see what Askren does. I think he could retire, but then he could just think it was a lucky shot from Masvidal and really still think he's the best welterweight in the world and keep going. So yeah, really interested to see what Askren does now. So next we'll go on to the Jones fight. Very strange, very, very weird fight. So Jones came out with this strange, like, ultra relaxed, swaying, almost floppy style on the feet. Just no urgency. He looked pretty calm and collected the whole time. The two things that I thought might be problems for Jones, the leg kicks and his boxing defense, were problems. Santos was blitzing in and Jones was blocking most of the shots, but some were seemingly getting through, not landing with amazing power, but they were clearly considered scoring shots. And then those leg kicks, obviously, he had to use a wheelchair after the fight. Santos switching stances to mirror Jones so he could get those leg kicks off. And it was a split decision in the end. The first round was definitely Santos. You could argue the second round, it was very close. I think the third and fourth were Jones, and then the fifth was probably Jones, but you could just about give it to Santos because he was more active. Jones he never seemed in trouble. He just almost seemed like he didn't really want to win that like he was just kind of coasting. I think he said after that he thought he was winning every round, but I think he did win the fight, but, you know, you've got to be a bit more convincing. You know, Santos did well. He was a lot more technical. I think in his other fights, he's just being a brawler, just swinging wild. He was very technical in this Jones fight, and his performance has to be definitely praised. So very well done for Santos. It looked like he tore his ACL. That's what the commentary team was saying when he threw one of those kicks, and he could barely walk on it by the end. So amazing performance to get a split decision loss to Jones on a pretty much a torn ACL the whole fight. I think you have to say that he should either get an immediate rematch, or if he gets one more win, he should get a rematch, because there's some unanswered questions there. But Jones was kind of strange how he just coasted, how he didn't seem to be taking the fight very seriously. There were some points where I felt he could have gone for the finish, but he just didn't. I understand being cautious against a power puncher, but he was almost overly cautious. A very, very weird fight, very strange fight. I do think Jones deserved the win, but it could have been more convincing. It kind of reminded me of the GSP Johnny Hendricks fight, where there was 3 close rounds and 2 rounds that Hendricks and Jones both dominated and almost finished their opponent, but then their opponent could just be given those 3 close rounds and then win the fight. So I think if Santos won, it would have been a little bit of a robbery, because with those blitzes, he wasn't really landing much. But he did land the good leg kicks. He did knock Jones's gum shield out. He was getting through a little bit, but it's hard to tell how much he did actually land. So very weird, very interesting fight, and I'd like to see that one again. Santos was a lot better than what I disrespectfully and wrongly called him, a mediocre middleweight who only got a title shot because light heavyweight is trash. So he proved me wrong. He definitely proved me wrong. Yeah, I'd like to see that one again, maybe if Santos gets one more win. Another weird thing was Jones in the post-fight interview saying that he was proud that he outstruck someone who had been kickboxing longer than him, which is a very strange thing to say when you're supposedly the pound-for-pound best fighter ever. I mean, lots of wrestlers outstrike strikers, like Cejudo did to Moraes, and say TJ Dillashaw did to Cody Garbrandt. It's not that special. But Jones was seemingly using that as some kind of excuse as why he didn't do very well against a one-legged brawling middleweight, pretty much. I mean, look, Santos was technical in this fight, but he's not some amazing genius striker. He's not like a prime Anderson Silva or something. And it's very confusing why Jones didn't wrestle in this fight. I guess he just thought he was winning on the feet. Very bizarre. Then we had the co-main event, Holm versus Nunez. Like I kind of expected, I think Holm was doing well early. Her movement and her boxing and kicking pedigree was doing her well. She did catch Nunez at one point with a right hand, and Nunez looked a tad shaky for a second. But really, I think Nunez is just so good that she could finish that fight when she wanted. She went for a head kick. Holm, I think it was a bit of a technical mistake. I'll have to watch it back, but I think she kind of did some side kick either to the body or the knee, then took a while retracting it and didn't really have any defense while she was throwing it, and then Nunez just threw up that kick so quickly, so powerfully. Oh god, flush to the face. It was foot to face. Brutal. Kind of like what Shevchenko did to Ai on the last pay-per-view card. And yeah, there you go. Nunez has almost cleaned out that division. I think she's got Ketlin Vieira and maybe Jermaine Durandamir, or has she beaten her? And then there's no one else to fight. But I would like to see that Cyborg rematch. I think I'd like to see how it goes if Cyborg didn't just swing wildly when she first got hit by Nunez. I think it could be a good technical fight and probably the best challenge for Nunez out there at the moment. I think the last fight I'll talk about is Rockhold's debut at light heavyweight versus Blachowicz. Quite boring fight at first. Rockhold tried taking him down but didn't have much success. And then he was kicking him from the outside. And then his striking, his boxing defense just let him down again. And he got absolutely flatlined again. It's fun to a certain extent to see a cocky fighter getting blasted, but this is getting a bit sad now for Rockhold. His chin is absolutely... I mean, he broke his jaw. Jesus Christ. This guy's got to retire. A string of knockouts now. He got knocked out badly by Bisping. I mean, I think Bisping said it himself when he was against the cage. His head was like a pinball between Bisping's fists. Got absolutely flattened by Yoel Romero with an overhand left. and then now devastated by Blachowicz, if that's how you say it, probably not, left hook. So, yeah, I think Rockhold has got to get out of this now. You can't keep getting knocked out like this. This can have a serious impact on you in later life. So, yeah, I think the best thing for Rockhold is to find something else to pursue in his life. I think he has a bit of a modelling career, so maybe that, but that's what I have to say about that one. And actually, I'll quickly mention Chiesa versus Sanchez. Chiesa looks very good at welterweight. How he ever made lightweight, I mean, I know it's been said many times, but how the hell did that guy make lightweight? It makes no sense. He looked huge against welterweight in Condit, and although Sanchez isn't exactly a welterweight, he's still a big welterweight, and weight cutting is just stupid, and fighters seem to be so stubborn about it. I think Chiesa blamed his last poor cut to lightweight on a broken foot and said that even though he thought he was going to die during the weight cut, that since he thinks he can still make lightweight in normal circumstances, he should still keep fighting there. I think same with Kevin Lee. After he had all those weight cutting problems, he still was saying, no, this is my division, I'm staying at lightweight. And then both of them went up to welterweight and said, this is amazing, I'm staying here. So hopefully we'll start seeing more fighters abandon extreme weight cutting to fight at a more healthy weight for them. So yeah, it was a great card, some great knockouts, some interesting developments at light heavyweight for John Jones, and loved watching it. So thank you for watching, and hopefully see you in the next one.